Bismillah wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulullah. So this is part Jim, the last part of lesson 13, sorry. This is the last part of lesson 13 of the plurals. So as you can see now, we have a little box here, a summary of the Asma al-Ishara, those demonstrative nouns. هذا طالب, هذه طالبة. See, singular masculine, singular feminine. هؤلاء طلاب, these are students. وهؤلاء طالبات, these are female students. So we use هؤلاء for both masculine and feminine, plural humans, okay? Also, we have kalimat al-jadida, it's your new words. But just to point out to you, al-mar'atu means the woman. The plural of al-mar'a is nisa'un. It changes completely. It's a whole different word. Okay, that's just something to remember. Imra'atun is how we say it without alif and lam. When we add alif and lam, we get rid of the initial hamza or alif, and it becomes al-mar'atu, not al-imra'atu. No, al-mar'atu. So that's just something to remember here, inshallah. So Jim, in this lesson now, we're going to learn the demonstrative noun for that which is far away. So before we learned هذا, هذه, هؤلاء for that which is close. Now it will be pointing towards that which is far. So I'll just read through this, inshallah ta'ala, and then we'll talk about this usage. So it says, هؤلاء إخوتي, these are my brothers. وأولئك أصدقائي, and those are my friends. من أولئك الرجال الطوال, who are those tall men? هم أطباء من أمريكا, they are doctors from America. من أولئك النساء, who are those women? هن أمهات الطالبات, they are the female students' mothers. Then it mentions آباء الطلاب عند المدير, the students' fathers are with the headmaster. It says أولئك النساء خالاتك يا مريم, خالاتك يا مريم, sorry. أولئك النساء خالاتك يا مريم, are those women your aunties from your mother's side, O Maryam? لا هن عماتي, no, they are my aunties from my father's side. هؤلاء أطباء وأولئك مهندسون, these are doctors and they over there, they are engineers. هؤلاء الرجال فقراء, these men are poor. وأولئك أغنياء, and those men are rich. أولئك الطلاب ضعاف, those students are weak. من أولئك الرجال, who are those men? هم وزراء, they are ministers. Also in this lesson, we are learning the plural patterns. As we're going to see shortly, there's some plurals they do not take tenween. They cannot take the double sound. They can never take the sound. They just take one dhamma, like aghniya'u, fuqara'u. So any of these words that are on these patterns, especially as we'll come to see shortly, inshallah, they do not take the sound. It's not possible for them to take the sound, okay? Then we have التمارين. Again, حول المبتدا في كل من الجمل الآتية إلى جمع. Change the subject in all of these sentences to plural. So just as we've been doing for the other two sections of this lesson, just observing. Now we learnt ذلك in lesson 2. ذلك. We learnt تلك in lesson 7. ذلك, that is. تلك, that is. What's the difference? Masculine. تلك is feminine. Now the plural of this is أولئك. Okay, so أولئك. أولئك is plural of ذلك and تلك, just as هؤلاء is plural of هذا and هذه. So again, you're going to observe this change. Are you going to use أولئك in these sentences? As it mentions in the mithal, ذلك الرجل مدرس, that man is a teacher. أولئك الرجال, those men, مدرسون, are teachers. So now that's the usage of أولئك, which is the plural of ذلك and تلك, again for humans only. So again, from here, we have a similar exercise to what's preceded us. أشر إلى الأسماء الآتية باسم إشارة للبعيد. So that allude to these nouns, the following nouns, with a demonstrative noun that shows something is far. So ذلك تلك أولئك. So you're going to choose which one is suitable to fill in the empty space, paying attention to whether it's plural and what gender it is. Then exercise number 3, هاتي جمع الكلمات الآتية. Give me the plural of the following nouns. هاتي جمع الكلمات الآتية. Give me the plural of these nouns. what's the plural? أب, امرأة, عمة, ضعيف, وزير, اسم. So use your vocab bank and what you have just seen within this chapter of what the potential plurals of those nouns will be. Then we have اقرأ واكتب. Again, look at all of these nouns. They have something in common. None of them end in on. These are what I was mentioning, the patterns that cannot end in nun, on. So أصدقاء, أغنياء, أقوياء, أطباء. These nouns, فقراء, زملاء, وزراء, علماء, do not take the un sound. Just take one dhamma. When even if they're definite or indefinite, it's the same. They cannot take the un sound. Okay. So now we have here أسماء الإشارة للبعيد المفرد والجمع. So this is a summary table of the demonstrative nouns for that which is far, when you want to point to something far away. ذلك طالب, تلك طالبة. Okay, so masculine and feminine, singular. أولئك طلاب, أولئك طالبات. They are students, they are feminine students. And that is, again, أولئك is the plural of ذلك and تلك. Okay. Then we also have a summary of the changes that occur for the verb, masculine and feminine alike. So Muhammadun ذهب. So one person, he went, is ذهب. Muhammadun وحامد وعلي ذهبوا. So you want to make it plural, ذهب becomes ذهبوا. Any verb will follow that same pattern in adding the waw and the alif, the silent alif, at the end of the verb, with the dhamma preceding on the last letter of the actual verb before the waw is attached. So ذهبوا. ذهبوا is the plural of ذهب. خرجوا is the plural of خرج. So you can see we do the exact same thing, adding this waw with dhamma before it and the silent alif, inshaAllah ta'ala. Then we have Maryamu ذهبت. Maryam, she went, ذهبت. So that ta shows that it's she did it. Then Maryamu وآمنة وفاطمة ذهبنا. So again, now this is the noon of niswa, the noon of women. That shows that the women did it. And you do that for every verb. Kharajna, dhahabna, jalasna, anything. You will add that same noon, inshaAllah ta'ala, to say those women did that action. Then we have al-kalimatul jadida. As we know, the new words that we have learnt within this lesson. Refer back to your vocab bank, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to memorize those, inshaAllah.